Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. The big news today is Bitcoin is sitting at $30,000. We're going to take a look at the ripple effects and some of the details of that rise. That is today in Web3. Welcome back. Before we get into today's headlines, please do me a favor, subscribe, like, and share this content so people can have daily Web3 news. Also, I want to mention something that's coming up. I have a new NFT project with partnership with Factory. And Factory is a one-of-one artist that I've known for a long time, and I'm excited for this exclusive Today in Web3 offering to get you one-on-one NFTs as well as access to Today in Web3 in terms of coming on the show and an advertisement, all by buying these NFTs. Wait for more details. The mint is coming soon. Let's get into those headlines. Bitcoin is up 82% this year so far, and it crossed $30,000. So will Bitcoin pop or will it drop? Well, there's a lot of resistance overhead. Bitcoin has spent much of the last week in a firmly established but increasingly narrow trade range. And so what that means is Bitcoin has been trading in such a little channel that there has to be a breakup, either up or down. A lot of people are saying that Bitcoin popped up to $30,000 because of the low liquidity. And with that means with low liquidity, any kind of exposure, people gaining exposure to Bitcoin, putting money back into Bitcoin or into Bitcoin is going to make the number go up quicker. Now, who are those people getting exposure to Bitcoin? Well, it could be people just like me and you or institutional investors that are trying to find a little bit of stability or some kind of like asset outside of the banking industry or the traditional markets because of the volatility or because of the uncertainty. Also, a bunch of people with shorts. Take a listen to Coin Bureau talking about both the liquidity and how shorts can play an impact on the price.
Crypto market liquidity is pretty damn low at the moment. There isn't much money sloshing around because the collapse and closure of banks like Silvergate and Signature has made it much harder for big investors to get dollars into the market. Meanwhile, retail investors are also seeing fiat on and off ramps closed. This means lower trading volumes can move the market more easily, so only a few buyers are needed to push the price higher. In this case, BTC's sudden jump will have caused a short squeeze, whereby all those degens who bet that it would go lower will now be forced to buy or get liquidated. Extra buying pressure helps push the price up further, potentially liquidating yet more shorts, and so on.
And as he said, when people are shorting the market and Bitcoin goes up, that means they're going to have to buy more Bitcoin. Low liquidity, price moves up even more. I want to give a shout out to JRD876 who commented on my video about low liquidity saying up move. Good call. Now, other people are pointing that Bitcoin is going to be volatile for the near future, saying that the buy side and sell side liquidity are being removed from the near spot price, lower and higher levels respectively. In turn, that gives the market more room for erratic moves within this range, increasing the potential for a more substantial trend break. What does that mean? It means that when people are buying in at $27,500 or $28,000 and Bitcoin shoots up overnight to $30,000, they're not going to just, keep their normal profits. They're going to take away their sell orders. They're going to wait to see what Bitcoin does and take their stop losses back down to where their sell orders probably was. So for example, if you buy in at $28,000 and you're going to just take a quick profit or $500, $1,000 and see your sell orders at maybe say $28,500 or $29,000, well, that now becomes your floor. And hey, you still make the same amount of profit, but we're going to see where the upside is, the Bitcoin. Material indicators commented, it's going to be an interesting week. File chart shows the pathway to volatility are clearing up on both directions. The question is, will Bitcoin pop or drop after all this chop? Now, people are looking at the CPI and PPI numbers that are going to come out later this week. Are we going to have higher inflation? Is inflation cooling down? Are we going to have stable job markets? Are the price for products for companies going to be going up as inflation as well? Or is that going to be leveling out? Then that's going to indicate what the Fed is going to do. Are they going to continue to raise rates by 25, 50 basis points? Are they going to calm down for a while? Or could we see a reduction? I highly doubt we're going to see a reduction. We could see a calm. However, Jerome Powell, even though banks were collapsing all around him, he didn't stop raising rates. So why would he now? So long story short is nobody knows, up or down. All we can say is be prepared for a wild ride. Now, who's benefiting from all of this good news? Well, obviously, is MicroStrategy, who's been at a loss for buying all that $4 billion worth of Bitcoin all this time. And people were having a lot of doubts for MicroStrategy's strategies. However, as Bitcoin price went up, the closer they became to break even. And just remember, MicroStrategy just bought another 1,045 Bitcoin, or about $29.3 million worth of Bitcoin, which takes their overall hodling to $4.17 billion worth of Bitcoin, or 140,000 Bitcoin. Their average price for their Bitcoin is $29,803 per coin, which means right now they're in the money. Now, besides them making a little bit of profit and them going to Michael Saylor, hey, you're a genius, good job, we didn't lose our pants, what does that mean for them holistically? Well, their stock price is soaring. Yesterday it closed up 7.82%, and before the markets opened this morning, it's already up 2.6%. Over the past month, it has gained dramatically, so MicroStrategy is definitely winning with Bitcoin prices going up. And if you're hodling Bitcoin, I guess everybody is. Now, with all the talk about Bitcoin, there's also talk about Ethereum. And everybody's wondering what's going to happen to the Ethereum price once we unlock $34 billion or 18 million ETH with the new Shanghai upgrade. Many are speculating whether this event will cause a massive sell-off in price. It's important to realize that the draw queue only allows a limited set request per day, 115,200. So, while there may be sustained downward pressure on the price, unstaking is not likely to cause a sharp, sudden dip. Now remember, early people who staked their ETH, they staked 32 ETH. Right now it's around $60,000. A lot of profits to be had if you started staking around December of 2020. But a lot of people already had access to their ETH this whole time because they're staking through pools like Lido or on Coinbase. But also remember, if you are staking on places like Lido and Coinbase, once this upgrade happens, you might have to wait quite some time. And they're saying maybe up to 2 weeks. The thing I want everybody to realize really quick is that even though people can get their ETH and they might put it into their wallets, they might move it to another exchange. That move might be their only move for quite some time because of the gas prices. I mean, do you really want to pay exorbitant amounts of gas prices to move your ETH around? I mean, me personally, when I move any kind of crypto, I test one transaction, make sure it goes through, and then send another one. If that transaction costs $100 or $200, I might just keep it where it is and wait to sell when gas prices go down. Moving into some other news, the Weekovai just lent Gemini $100 million. This move comes after Gemini had formerly sought fundraising from outside investors in recent months without coming to any agreements. And this is according to 3 people that they did not want to be mentioned, and Gemini and the Weekovai, they didn't respond to requests for comments. If you guys remember Genesis Global, Gemini's partner in their Earn program, they had some issues, and they had about $900 million of customers' funds unaccounted for. Well, they came to agreement and found a way to get that money back for their clients. But part of the agreement was to Gemini to kick in $100 million. Well, this loan from the Weekovai is not going to go toward that. It actually is going to go to operating expenses. Just FYI, Gemini has around $13 million in spot trading volume in 24 hours, and you can compare that to the biggest exchange in the US, Coinbase, which did around $660 million in the same time period. And just in a quick note, we just saw somebody that had around similar 24-hour trading volume leave the United States, I'm talking about Bittrex, and just go global because of regulation fears and the fact that they're just not a massive exchange, so why take the risk? Is Gemini going to go the same route, considering that their lend program is done and they're really not that big of an exchange? Maybe Gemini Global is going to be their next step. What do you think? Comment below. Proof launches an exclusive NFT collection for MoonBird hodlers. This collection is going to feature 10,000 pieces from 22 artists, including Beeple. This collection is going to be titled MoonBird Diamond Exhibition, and the collection is available exclusively to MoonBird hodlers, as I just said, that reached Diamond Nest status by staking their NFTs. This release is going to happen on April 27th. And just for motivation for everybody who's working on anything, Beeple has posted a piece of artwork every day for over 16 years. 16 years is 5,843 days. Beeple didn't become known and become a millionaire until he sold his first artwork called 5,000 Days at Christie's, and that sold for $69 million. Before then, he was just making art every day for over 13 years before he actually made money from it. So anybody who's working on something, anybody that needs a little extra motivation, just know that Beeple worked on something for 5,000 days before he even saw fame or fortune. And now, let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:36 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We have Bitcoin sitting at $30,200 $203, up 6.9% in 24. Ethereum's at $1,918, up 3.6%. Tether's number 3. Binance is at $329, up 5.6%. And USDC is number 5. And in some USDC news, the supply of USDC on Ethereum has stabilized just under 31 billion units, some 11 billion below the start of last year. Rounding off the top 10, we have XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Matic, and Solana. And Solana is on a tear. I think it's our biggest winner today. It's up around 11.3% in 24 hours. Is this the anticipation of the new Solana smartphone coming out, the Saga? Did you pick one up? Let me know in the comments. Total market cap is in at 1.23 trillion. We have a BTC dominance of 47.1 and an F dominance of 18.6. And that is our show today. And please feel free to email me, bookings@todayinweb3.com. And until tomorrow, happy hodling, everyone. Hey everyone, the bull run is coming. It's coming quick. And you need to be up to date on everything that's happening in the Web3 space. So please follow us on Twitter and like, subscribe, share these videos so we can keep you up to date daily on Web3 news.